Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone today on Wednesday? We've got Wednesday Wisdom here with the beautiful Michelle Ann. And we're talking about, this is going to be a great subject or topic to talk about because it's a very interesting one for anyone that's become, moved into spirituality or, understood or woken up, as a lot of people say. It can be a bit of a challenge talking to your friends and family about if they are not on the same page, right? So this morning, Michelle, and we're talking about coming out of the spiritual closet. What a great topic.
I absolutely love that term. When I was trying to think about what I did, I couldn't think of anything. And then I was like, I help people step out of the spiritual closet. And I was like, that's it. I've got it. I've nailed it. And I do. It just happens naturally. Everyone that turns up. So I've got some funny stories. I had my electrician on my healing bed the other day.
That's awesome. So for anyone that's watching, we'd love for you to say hello in the comments, and especially in YouTube as well. I just noticed I haven't dried my hair. I'm literally in the middle of moving. Seriously, the place around me is in chaos. So
I'm in chaos this morning too. So I'm sitting in the car. My mum's got 6 kids and the cleaner, and she's like, "You can't use the house." And I'm like, "All right, I'm in the car and I'm on my phone. It is what it is."
Yeah, it's pivoting, right? We just go with the flow and just pivot. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you, Michelle. What is it that you do, and tell us about coming out of the spiritual closet.
Oh, yeah, it's a pretty funny story. So, yeah, my business name is Michelle Ann Soul Healer, and I work with my sister as well. We call ourselves those two sisters. I've even got my branded jumper on today because I'm about to do a speaking gig with her. But the Soul Healer tag, I didn't know what to call myself, but everyone kept saying, "Oh, I just feel so good when I leave you." And I didn't want to. Yeah, I just did a bit of everything. So I did a bit of shamanic work, so energy healing. I just used my intuition. I was dabbling in cards. But the main thing I found what was happening was people were drawn to me that were wanting more out of life. And they knew there was something else out there other than this physical body, but they were too scared to say it out in public or, God forbid, tell their partner or their workmates that they were into maybe that name called spirituality. Goodness me, it's just got this connotation around it,
hasn't it? Yeah,
and it's nothing other than just believing in something bigger than ourselves. That's what I think spirituality is. But you use the word spirituality and people think you're either in a cult or a religion or something, and I'm like, it's not that. We have religious people come into our group. It's not about the name of what you call that bigger thing. It's just that belief that there's more in this world than us. We are a small part of a big universe. And so that's where Michelle Ann Soul Healer was coined, because I just thought, well, I heal people's souls really at a deep level. And then stepping out of the spiritual closet, because people just kept turning up in front of me. And a lot of them are actual healers themselves. It's so bizarre. But my story is that I'm actually a police officer turned energy healer. It's such a crazy story. I've been in the police for nearly 23 years now.
You're still in the police force?
Just a couple of days a week still. I worked till 10 o'clock last night. That's why I'm looking a bit and I'm on a juice cleanse. I'm feeling really good actually. So I'm still working in the police a couple of days a week, but my real passion is this work. And I had my own awakening a couple of years ago when I had my own healing. I share it on my podcast, Michelle Ann, the Soul Stories podcast on Spotify and Apple. And it's basically, I stepped out of my own spiritual closet pretty much and had this ridiculous, crazy healing that I didn't expect. I didn't even know what it was. My mum bought me a gift voucher. I was like,
oh, wow.
She was like, yeah, just come and see this woman. And I said, oh, well, if I get a meditation, that's fine. And I just had full physical shaking. My body was shaking. These messages come through. I got lifted up the bed. All this crazy stuff happened to me. And the messages it was really strong. And I was terrified, to be honest, because I didn't know what it was. But my lady that was doing the healing, she said, it's safe, Michelle. They're just trying to get something through to you. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the hell do you want? And I got this, you got to be doing this work. I was like, me? I'm a bloody police officer. I've got 2 young kids. No, I'm not spiritual. I'm not there are the other people out there doing that, the mediums and the psychic. I'm not psychic. What is this carry on? Yeah. And so I listened and I went and did a Reiki course, and that's where it all started. So
okay. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Crazy. literally shaking on the bed like this.
Yeah.
Kundalini energy is what I now know it to be, but I didn't at the time have any idea what it was.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you've heard of Kundalini energy?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had people shaking on my bed.
Yeah.
Like one woman in particular, it was like over an hour that she was shaking on my bed. So
yeah, I had crystals flying off my body. They were lying down the middle. They went flying up. And now people do it on my bed. I had a woman the other day, her legs got fully lifted up off the ground, off the bed, like sort of folded in half, which is what happened to me. And it's just energy. It's nothing to be scared of. It's just, oh God, you should see what's going on out here. I've got kids running around the car. Oh dear. Oh Jesus, they're everywhere. I'm surrounded. Oh God.
Are they on school holidays at the moment, or?
Yeah, they're on school holidays. I wonder if I can flip. Oh, no, I won't flip. I had one like literally staring at me. Yeah, so yeah, it's Kundalini energy. It's just energy that's moving through your body, and obviously energy makes things move. It makes complete sense when you think about it from a science background. I've actually got a science degree, so I'm really interested in like all this frequency and vibration and energy and movement because, yeah, I love science, but I didn't fail. I never failed anything, but I didn't do particularly well in physics. And it's so funny because everything I do is now to do with physics, like quantum physics and frequencies and energy waves. And I'm like, oh, if someone had told me back then that that's what physics was, I would have loved it. But
yeah. I don't know if they taught quantum physics in school though. They told us all the basic boring stuff, right? But if they'd given us some information about sacred geometry and quantum physics and stuff, it would have been a different story.
I would have been right into it. Yeah,
and more people, I think, would be waking up. Because we have been conditioned to stay in the 3D. In the lower vibration of. And it's not lower and higher as there's no hierarchy. It's just, it's a different state, but it is a lower vibration than in, different dimensions, third, fourth, fifth dimension. So, sorry, fourth, fifth and sixth dimension. So,
yeah, it's so true.
And so tell us about how that worked for you, like from, coming out of the spiritual closet. How did you navigate that in your world with your family? And for those that may be going through that, because a lot of people are actually waking up at the moment with what's going on the planet. A lot of people are finding themselves waking up to there's more to this world than what meets the eye, and they're having some sort of experience that sometimes not being able to manage it or navigate it. How did you handle that yourself as you were going through that process?
I was really lucky because my family, we weren't brought up we're not full hippies, but my mum was well above beyond her time. She was doing essential oils when we were kids and sort of eating buckwheat pancakes and all the gluten-free stuff. It was not really heard of back then, but she was in the closet. Like she was terrified because back then it was frowned upon. So, but in sense, I was supported by my family. So I always had that feeling that, this was sort of quite normal. But then I just got the feeling that, like, I don't know, I just have this, my dad in particular used to always say to me, Michelle, don't worry about what other people are thinking about you because they're all worried about what you're thinking of them. And I was like, that is so true. So that's sort of how I live my life. And then I'm now like, this is it. Like if you don't like it, then people just don't listen. I've actually taken it into the police force now. I've got essential oils in there and I do meditation. Well, I haven't done it because of COVID for a bit, but I was doing meditation classes in lunchtime and all the men, they love it. They come up and they go, what? I found a bird wing. That's one other crazy story. Have this bird wing story and they come up, they line up at my desk. What else? What other crazy stories have you got? And they all bag me a little bit jokingly. I could smell you in the lift with your bloody lavender or whatever it is you wear. I'm like, I do not wear lavender. Excuse me. I wear in tune and vanilla, actually. They go, how's your hippie going? And what crazy shit you got going on today, Saundo? And I tell them, and they're all interested. And a lot of female police officers have actually come into our tribe and opened up and started having their own healing. Amazing. The ripple effect is absolutely mind-blowing. I was literally at work last night and my sister sent me a video of I'm like, I could hear my voice, but I wasn't there. And I was like, I'm so confused. Someone was running a cacao circle with my cacao that I sell up in Townsville with like, I think it was about 15 women sitting there, and they were playing my meditation. So my magic and was coming. And I was like, oh my God, this is what it's about. They're all like breathing in the white light into their heart. And I was like, I just had tears of gratitude. I was like, that's what it's about, the ripple effect. And
yes,
now
absolutely.
becoming awake.
Yeah, yeah,
awake.
yeah.
And I think my my gift is that I'm pretty normal. Like, there's some people that are into, like, I'll say hippie because that's what the word people understand, but they're a little bit too much into the hippie, and they can't actually connect with the normal person because they're, white light and all that, which I believe in, but they're too far in that frequency and they're not connecting with the mainstream. Whereas I'm very real, like, what you see is what you get. And I think that's what my gift is, that normal people, like mainstream, are drawn to me and open up to me, and then they start to feel a little bit of healing, and then they just want a bit more, and then we introduce them into our tribe, of our community, like your women, and then magic.
Yeah.
And then they do it for
it's
their
a
friends.
safe place, right? They feel safe. Yeah. 100%. And so what would your advice be for people that may be women that are finding that they can't express that to their family, or can't express how they're feeling or what's going on for them? Have you got any advice that you would give them?
I would say just start small. Like, I do not agree in hiding everything you're doing. I mean, you don't have to go telling your family or your workmates that you've found dead birds and using wings and healings and stuff like that. But start by saying, I've started just doing a little 5-minute meditation every morning. Like, that's pretty normal. It's becoming normal. Like, there's oracle cards in Kmart and Target.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's
when
normal.
I first woke up, I used to go to this new age shop, they called them at the time.
Yeah.
And it was down an alleyway, like, and like there wasn't spiritual books or oracle cards or divination cards or anything like that in a normal bookshop. It just wasn't around. So it's very much mainstream these days, which is so nice, and people understand, but there's so many different definitions and presumptions of what spirituality is. So someone can have a different definition to you. So it's an awakening of, as you said, an awareness that there's more than just your physical body, that there's more out there.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful process. So if you've mentioned your Soul Stories podcast, and how would people get in contact with you? I was just looking. I've just moved it because I'm moving, but I literally just had your cacao here. Just like, and I only just moved it because I thought, if I had realised that you were going to be on this month, because, this is our 2nd anniversary, right? I would have actually done the gift of your cacao today, but we've already given it away as a prize. So
yes, Bianca's
but you gave me one as a beautiful gift as well, which is so lovely. So thank you. I'm looking forward to it. And it's so well packaged. I love it.
I love it. Yeah, I love that little side hustle, little side business. People are like, how do you even have any time left in your day? And I'm like, I'm on purpose. And that's what's the difference. When you're on purpose and you're in alignment, it's just easy. It is.
Yeah.
So it's good. But just that, on that last question, where you can find me, I'll say that in a second. But when you're talking to someone about if you're stepping out of the spiritual closet, remember their soul knows at a deep level. They may not physically, and anyone that's attacking you is in absolute just fear. They're just scared. They're just scared little souls that don't know what to do. So that I've never actually had anyone attack me, and I've come out some crazy stuff. Not one person has told me they don't believe that every single person has a story of some sort in relation to, or this weird thing happened or that weird thing. I did it out of police.
Absolutely. It's great listening to people's stories, right? So all of a sudden they're telling you, I saw this ghost, or I saw this.
It happened to me on a management conference in the police. I had the superintendent, the inspector, the assistant commissioner, and a few other people around. And I just, took them to like, let's stop talking about police. Let's talk about what would you do if you left the job. And they got to me and they said, well, what would you do, Saundra? I said, and this is before I even started any of this. I said, I'd be an energy healer. And they're like, what? And I said, stop laughing, you guys. You've all got a story. What is it? And I went around the circle and every single one had a story, and I opened their eyes. And that's what I'm like. Just talk to people at a soul level and know that whenever they're ready, they will get it. Like I was just telling you that my father-in-law, my ex-father-in-law, started talking to me about my podcast, that pod thing you're doing. And I said, what pod thing? He said, that pod where you talk to people. And I nearly died because I'm like, I didn't think he was into any of this. Like, actually, if you're watching, Rob, sorry, but I thought you were against what I do. But he seems to be, he asked me this morning, could I give him this quote that I was talking about in that pod thing? I was like, oh my God, like he would have been the last person I thought that would be interested in this type of conversation. But everyone's got a soul, and as I said
absolutely
before, religion, like they're quite religious, which I completely accept. It doesn't matter what you believe in as long as you believe there's something else. So
yeah. And for those that don't believe that there's something else, there's the atheists out there that don't believe, or the is it agnostic that believe, they don't know what it is. But the thing is, a lot of people are scared to step into that realm of the unknown. They'd rather the safety, and that's okay too. Like if that's where you're at, that's okay. So
no judgment.
So you can put your information down, like in the comments once we jump off, and because you're going to you're doing a corporate gig right now at the moment, right?
My sister and I are about to go and talk to all the management at a Integrity Care and Support here for 4 hours. So doing like pretty much a 4-hour workshop for them. So that's really exciting. But
it's funny that you just said that you're on purpose. I'm just literally in the middle of a move, so I'm moving down. I've got to drive down today and removal is tomorrow. So literally right now, I'm going for 2 awards. I'm having branding done, and there's something else that I'm doing at the same time. I can't remember. After this, I'm working with my group, doing coaching for the group. It's like, how do you fit it all in? I love the way you said it. When you're on purpose, it just happens, right? You just put it all in and it just happens. So
just easy.
Yeah, that's
really
right.
Cool. But if anyone wants to see, like get in contact or see what I do, including the cacao and the circles and the podcast, it's all on our website. So it's just www.those2sisters.com. So number 2, those
awesome.
2 sisters.com.
Awesome. Yeah, and you'll put all of those links in. We'll put it into the YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, you'll see it in the comments section. And if you're on Women of Light, then you will on Facebook, then you'll see it in the comments below as well. So,
and we might have to get you on the podcast too. We'll interview you about your story and how you came into all this too.
I've got a crazy story as well. So.
Oh yeah, right. I will be in touch after this. I'm looking for another person to interview, so all your fans can listen to that as well. I'll get that happening ASAP after I do my corporate thing.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you so much, Michelle Ann. It's been lovely to have you on, and enjoy the next 4 hours with all of your women that you're going. Is it just women or is it men too?
It's just women. I double checked only because I always like to know who I'm talking to. But partly it's just women, and this one anyway. But Diane, my sister's at a speaking gig this morning. Like she's like I don't even know what she's got some brunch thing at 8:30, and then she's going straight to this other one. And she messaged me early because we're calling men in, and she messaged me and said, oh my God, they're all men. So she's talking to all men, and then she'll be coming to all women in a second. So
oh, that's fantastic.
It's all happening.
Isn't it? It's good when, like, on purpose. I love it. And I would love to hear anyone that's watching, have a think about that. Are you on purpose, right? Because it's an important thing to reflect on for yourself. So
yes. All right.
Take care, Michelle, and I will speak to you soon. Yeah.
Thanks,
take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.
See ya.